In June 2015, a well-known media figure who had never held public office announced that he was seeking the nomination for president of one of the two major political parties in the United States. His brash, arrogant behavior appalled many who followed politics diligently, including many of the longtime Republican voters whose support he would eventually need. But that man's same behavior attracted sizable segments of the country's population, earning him the following of poor and rural Americans who had not engaged in political activism over many years. Here he is in February 2016, less than a day before he placed second in the first statewide contest.
So I got a little notice, in case you see, the security guys, we have wonderful security guys. They said, Mr. Trump, there may be somebody with tomatoes in the audience. So if you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of them, would you? Seriously. Okay? Just knock the hell. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees. I promise. I promise. They won't be so much because the courts agree with us, too. What's going on in this country?
Knock the crap out of someone getting ready to throw a tomato? Americans in the past hadn't voted for someone seemingly willing to pay the perpetrator of violence at his rally. Americans had enjoyed uncouth behavior in their entertainment. Bluster and boasting and self-praise are part and parcel of the trait set of one of America's best-loved movie stars from before and during Trump's early years. From the year that Donald Trump became age 13 to the year Trump became age 28, John Wayne was on the list of top 10 box office stars every year. If Donald Trump at age 17 in late 1963 went to the newest John Wayne movie, he would have viewed this scene. If he stayed home, a lot of John Wayne's older films were on television.
Now, we'll all calm down.
Boss, he's just a little excited.
I know. I'm going to use good judgment. I haven't lost my temper in 40 years. But, Pilgrim, you caused a lot of trouble this morning. Might have got somebody killed. And somebody ought to belt you in the mouth. But I won't. I won't. The hell I won't.
In the exaggerated environment of a crowd-pleaser Western movie, once one person has swung his fist against an opponent, everyone else does so. They all take their cues from what they saw John Wayne do first. Notice in the John Wayne character the lack of impulse control. For a few seconds, the character had controlled his temper. Then the immediate gratification of punching his irritator wins out. That's what Trump displayed before his crowds, too. Listen to the enunciation of both John Wayne and Donald Trump, and ask yourself whether you're hearing the same macho tone, the same growling drawl, the same slow and deliberate pace. There's the same steely spine bearing. Each is a braggart. Each makes claims to uphold the rights of the defenseless which ring hollow. When Donald Trump spoke before the Iowa crowd, John Wayne had been dead almost 37 years. Yet the Harris poll of America's favorite movie stars has had John Wayne in the top 10 every year this century, in competition with stars still living. What movie audiences responded to was the image that John Wayne, as a talented actor, calibrated, building upon his personal strengths, and he emphasized different aspects of his basic character when changing roles. The private man, when off-screen and on-set, dealt with people with whom he disagreed much more civilly than his on-screen counterpart. Donald Trump became prominent in the 1980s, coming across as a fast-speaking New York playboy. In 1979 and 1987, he met political operatives who would aid him later. Trump had already learned how to manipulate the press for positive coverage. In the intervening years, did Trump reshape his image to appeal to the forgotten men and women of our country who applaud John Wayne? Did the John Wayne public image guide Trump as candidate to speak from his gut, eschew focus groups, and make the whole campaign look like a stunt? What do you say? Different roles played by John Wayne could be used as reference points by different current-day Americans as they seek to express their own estimates of what characteristics were the most pronounced in Donald Trump during his presidency. Some of President Trump's supporters can be expected to liken Trump to the John Wayne character of Sands of Iwo Jima, a heroic fighter for American interest and the goals valued throughout the nation's heritage long before he joined in the fight. His toughness earns him enemies, but he fulfills for the Marines what the Corps needs done. Critics of Trump might compare him to the John Wayne character of Red River, someone whose personality meant that he never should have become the leader of a major enterprise, Cruel to the many subordinates he is responsible for guiding safely through their common journey. In time, he becomes deranged by power and descends into madness. Should Trump be compared to the role for which John Wayne won his Academy Award? In True Grit, the John Wayne character in his past had robbed others of their property and didn't consider it stealing. Now he is a lawman, yet quashes his own mental functioning. With alcohol, though one might also think he is impacted by his cynicism, duplicity, and slipshod thinking. Among John Wayne's sober temper roles was Big Jim McLean. Here he is patriotic, lawfully seeks to investigate and arrest communists, approves of church visits, and during almost all of the movie, he communicates in clearly worded sentences his disagreements, rather than resorting to an overly angry overtone or to his fists. Trump's critics are prone to see similarities to Trump in The Searchers, a classic film in its own right. In it, the John Wayne character dedicates years to a worthy quest, yet remains allegiant to the Confederacy, disdains interracial relationships, lets his good cause fester into an obsession. He commits what he knows to be atrocities with the rationalization that his opponents did so first. He brings upon himself deep psychological disturbances. The Alamo has John Wayne playing a hero of American history, someone who was elected to office in Washington, D.C. The film depicts a bittersweet part of that man's life. A man who excelled at many skills ends up as merely one participant in the succession of events whereby Texas left Mexico and joined the United States. As Davy Crockett in this film, John Wayne is seen to sacrifice everything that could mean anything to Crockett for the sake of his country's betterment. The author of this video offers it with knowledge that the descriptions of the John Wayne characters herein also apply to Donald Trump. Dueling judgments over the merit and demerits of Donald Trump can be expected for years and decades to come.